We are 7 organizations, and both 7 organizations going to give us their statements concerning the current economic situation and where we are going as a country. We have ZINASU, we have ZISO, we have NIAN, we have concerning the citizen agenda, we have Zimbabwe Youth Alliance, we have Tajamuka. These are the organizations which will give us statements today, and the way forward is the civil society organizations coming together trying to confront the situation we are in today. So ZINASU, with the president of the Zimbabwe Citizens Union, Madida, will give us the first statement, followed by ZISO, a Komora resolution concerning the citizen agenda, Tinaimunetsi, Zia, Lenmoma Gorimbo, and Tajamuka Nkwanan's province. So, President.
Thank you very much. Thank you to the members of the press. So, as ZINASU, we are greatly concerned and disturbed by the recent monetary and fiscal policies that were pronounced by the governor and the minister, respectively. We feel that the new tax regime, which has been raised by 2%, is anti-poor and is meant to milk off the little money that the unemployed people of Zimbabwe have, the students and the young people of Zimbabwe have. Therefore, that policy should be revoked and be removed with immediate effect. We can't be burdened by other people's. We can't be burdened by other people's mismanagement, by the failures of other people. Therefore, what we have done is that we have called for a week of shutdowns in universities, and this shutdown started on Wednesday. But it's saddening to know that this government hasn't changed anything. Police have been deployed in institutions, people are being arrested, students are being harassed, some of them have been suspended. We've got 2 cases of suspensions at the Middle State University, and we've got 3 cases of arrests at also the Middle State University again. And this is very disturbing to know that in this so-called new dispensation, we haven't learned anything and we haven't changed anything from, the government hasn't changed anything from what it did during Robert Mugabe's time. Therefore, we are calling them to order, because as NASU, we are very determined and do not be deterred by these violent responses of the government. We are calling all our members to continuously peacefully resist all these efforts to silence them and fight for what is rightfully theirs. Because to us as NASU, we believe it's both a moral and patriotic duty for students to demand what is rightfully theirs, for students to call out for the slashing of that new 2% tax regime, also to peacefully request the government to address the day-to-day issues that are affecting the people of Zimbabwe in their generality. Right, prices are hiking, and students and the young people of Zimbabwe, as we are the most disempowered constituents, we are the worst affected. We can no longer afford the most basic of things. Students can no longer afford to go to campuses because they cannot afford to pay the new fares that are being charged. Therefore, we are calling this government to order. We are calling Emerson Mnangagwa together with these cronies at Shake House to make sure that they clean up this mess, or else we will close this country for renovations. This country needs to return to a path of legitimacy. This country needs to return to normalcy. We cannot continue to live like paupers in our own motherland. Therefore, as NASU, we will be very consistent in our message of shutting down campuses until this mess has been resolved. A failure to do that, we will not go back, we will not be deterred, and we will collaborate with all progressive institutions in making sure that this country is closed for renovations and will return to legitimacy. Thank you.
Yeah, as a young people in the informal sector, we are disturbed by the ongoing trends. It's the continuation from the Mugabe era up to the Mnangagwa era. The corruption that goes unpunished, the mismanagement, the economic instability, the failure to obey the constitution. Yes, we understand Mr. Mnangagwa may be occupying the highest office in the land. By virtue of occupying it, we also expect him to be delivering on the responsibilities that accompany that office, despite the manner whether he got there by Ukoro. But we also expect that since he's also getting paid to be for the job that he grabbed, he should also be seen to be delivering. But everywhere we look, we see a continuation of the same. He started with the 100 days in November. We see people are still being arrested We see the civic space shrinking. We see the instability in economics. We see basic things like even issues to do with devolution at a local level. They are not being respected. We see the 18th century diseases like cholera attacking and ravaging the citizens. We see monetary policies that increase taxes, of which if we check, these are the things why and reasons why on the 7th, why in November 2017, we went into the streets. So as young poet in the informal sector, under the banner of the Zimbabwe informal sector, we are calling all our membership, or calling the people of Zimbabwe to take a moment, starting today and with specifically Monday next week. We are calling for a specific action to remind Emerson Mnangagwa why people marched in November 2017 and why we went for elections, why we voted in the manner we voted, and the future we want. We are here as Zimbabweans, we want a better economy. We are here as Zimbabweans, we want social restructuring. We are here as Zimbabweans, we want good leadership in this country and not this voodoo economies that we are experiencing, where you can wake up today, you find cooking oil costing $15, a combi costing from 50 cents, we hear it costing $1 or $1.50. That's not what we want. So we are pro the restoration of sanity in Zimbabwe, and as such we are also joining the wider call by the Tajamuka to close Zimbabwe for renovations, for socio-economic, specifically socio-economic renovations, and do further notice, and do all the criminals in government have been weeded out until the social contract is restored, that as citizens we can put our money in the bank, we can hold Manguchka to account when he promises that our bond notes are equivalent to the US dollar, that we can have the safety to put our money in the bank, and also not have halfway down the lane be told that our bond notes are worthless, that our RTGS balances are not equivalent to the dollar. Yet initially, when we were putting money in the cash accounts back then, in 2016, they were US dollars. The first money that I put in my cash account, that I deposited in my bank account, that we all deposit in our bank accounts, they were US dollars. But now they are coming, they are arrogant, saying, where did you get that money? The US dollars when you deposit bond notes. So this is just by daylight robbery. And instead of dealing with them in the manner that is fit for government officials, that is fit for public officials, it's high time we treat them in the manner that they deserve. These are just criminals hiding behind state power. These are just criminals in the national coffers. So we deserve to treat them like criminals. Manguchka, for a start, must resign for failing the poor of Zimbabwe to the bond note. We also the chaos that was happening this past week. We also are seeing the long queues. We see the skyrocketing prices. We see all the madness, they are uncertainty. Yet they claim Zimbabwe is open for business. How is it open for business when it's closed for sanity? How is it open for business when it's closed for life? We saw, even on the face of August, people are dying every day in the streets. We hear bullets, people being killed. We hear yesterday they arrested the president and secretary general and leadership of the Zimbabwe Congress of Trade Unions for simply doing their civic duty to protest against unfair taxes, over taxation of the already downtrodden. What charge is that? What crime is that? So today we are calling and demanding their immediate and conditional release of CTU leadership, and we are giving a warning, an unequivocal warning to Emerson Mnangagwa and his government to stop taking the poor of Zimbabwe for a ride. So we are getting into this spirited national shutdowns, not with the spirit of stopping progress or stalling progress, but in the spirit of ensuring that we renovate all systems, we restore Zimbabwe back to factory settings necessary for real business to occur, real conditions necessary for economic development, real conditions necessary for industrial revival. Thank you.
Right, today minutes concern the citizen agenda.
Thank you. I will just read this over. But firstly, as CCA, we are saddened by the shooting that took place 2-3 days ago in the streets. And up to now, the government has not added its voice. Even the ZRP has not added its voice. We are very much concerned with the manner in which the government is operating, whether it was an individual, the age they are saying is 24, you ask where did he get the gun to move with in the city of Harare. We are also saddened with the brutality arrest that occurred at ZCTU yesterday. People must be free to express themselves. I think it is one of our constitutional rights for them. So I will just read over, then maybe I'll pass over some of the. As citizens' agenda, we have watched in horror the economic tailspin that the government has been presiding over ever since the much disputed election of July 31, 2018. It is clear to all and sundry that this present government does not have the will nor the capacity to be able to steer Zimbabwe out of the economic situation it is in currently, largely due to mismanagement and accountability from the authorities that be. While the talk from the top office in the land is that of austerity, the actions, however, speak out of line with the austerity. This has led Zimbabweans to generally conclude that there are two sets of rules, that for the general populace and the others for the political and economical elite. While the ordinary citizens can no longer afford to put basics on the table, the political elite have continued with Mugabe era impunity, extravagance, splashing out on chartered planes, luxury vehicles for their class. As you seen last time, Mnangagwa would manage to hire a private charter for Amai Mugabe to come and bury a mother. Whilst the people here in Zimbabwe are suffering. All this done in the face of rapidly ballooning national budget deficit and crunching cash crisis. It is no wonder the market has lost all confidence in the government policies. The bond notes have been utterly rejected by business and general citizens because of the artificial value the government is bent on insisting. They have, while markets have clearly shown they cannot sustain business on that warped bond note value. You have seen it when they started the bond note issue. They said the bond note would trade par to the USD. Now, Dr. Manguja has introduced another USD account, and there's another one that has to be resolved very fast. It is against this backdrop of pain and suffering amongst our people that we issue this statement today in partnership with other organizations, including Tajamuka and others, to unreservedly condemn the suffering unleashed upon Zimbabweans by a clueless and uncaring regime. We add our voice as CCA in support of the national shutdown and protest if it is possible. And also we are asking the resignation of Mangula as the RBZ governor. Zimbabwe cannot continue this with business as usual. We demand a serious, concerted effort to address the crisis the nation is facing. Our voice must be heard. Our concerns must be addressed forthwith. I thank you.
Revolutionary greetings to all the democratic leaders and social justice advocates present here. As the Zimbabwe Youth Alliance, we are saying no to a black market government. We are saying no to a government that does experiments with the human lives. As the Zimbabwe Youth Alliance, we say to all Zimbabweans, now is the right time to resist and reject any attempt to rob the people by an illegal and illegitimate system made up of ruthless and tired blood-sucking tricksters. Surely God will save Zimbabwe and its people. Surely a new, better and great Zimbabwe is possible in our lifetime. Surely a new dispensation is waving. Let us all stand with our people. Let us all provide leadership. It is the time to face the truth. We are saying no to increased taxes. We are saying no to corruption, no to loss of savings. We are saying no to police brutality against the vendors. We are saying no to police brutality against the noble citizens of Zimbabwe. We are saying no to overburdening of our taxpayers through an ever-increasing government debt. We should not pay the cost of the minorities' private lives. This is the money that they use to hire private jets for the former first ladies to fuel police brutality against the citizens. We are against the government that competes with the black market. This is a clear and louder call to all democratic and progressive Zimbabweans to roll up their sleeves and go back to the culture of oneness and protest against the so-called new era. I thank you so much.
I give this time to Professor Kanazi, leader of the Tajamuka.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to give a very short statement because of time. We are more concerned about going to start to address people in the streets in regard to the way forward that we've spelled out for Zimbabwe. But I'll just give the context under which we have made this call. I think you have seen the level of police brutality in this country. The level of the use of live ammunition against the citizens of this country. Nobody is safe. Don't think that you are safe. Nobody is safe. We need to come together as citizens and protect ourselves from an inhumane culture that is developing in our country of the use of live ammunition against unarmed and defenseless citizens. And the people that have used these live ammunitions against the people have been protected by the government. That soldier who shot people in the streets, to date, people, we went there, we found out his name, we gave to the authorities. Nothing has happened to him. And we demand that he must be apprehended as soon as possible. He must appear before the commission and he must be brought to justice. Just yesterday, a young person was shot, a vendor of that metal was shot dead by some person whom we suspect is linked to the state. Because the police made a statement yesterday. They were talking a lot of nonsense. Talking as if the vendor had done something wrong, explaining what the vendor had done wrong. Whatever a person has done wrong, there is no person is right to murder another person, let alone who is not a law enforcement agent for that matter. So that guy must be exposed, his name must be known, and he must be brought to justice. The people of Zimbabwe deserve to know who this culprit is. He must be brought to justice. We need to see him, we need to know him, we need to see the law taking its course. Sorry, nasinda Tajamuka. The informal sector, they spoke about the issue of the eco-cash. Eco-cash by Agatanga, we put money there, my US dollars, and there's no person who put a bond note there. Yeah. We put my US dollars. Yes. My bank accounts, there is no person who's got an account knows the RTGS. Yes. All those accounts are US dollar accounts. Yes. And so where are they getting this? Where are we being given this money? And where did it come from? We've got foreign currency accounts. Because my accounts are my US dollar accounts. We deposited my US dollars. When they've stolen the real money from us as citizens. Yes. We will not accept that. We can't accept that, the people of Zimbabwe. We can't. We can't accept a clique of people who have been stealing from this country for the last 40 years. What will Mnangagwa bring, which is new to this country? He's been in this government since 1980. He has stolen just another election. He's pretending to be a new person. When we all know that he's been in charge of this government for the rest of his life. So we're sick and tired and we're not going to accept that. I heard Malema speaking in South Africa. And we are in total agreement with him. Yes. If you have got your hospitals here in Zimbabwe and you are saying at the government, why are you taking our US dollars and going to treat yourselves in South Africa? Yes. And why is South Africa allowing that? Yes. And Malema is right, we support him. Those people must be brought back to Parirenya. Yes. Yes. To UPH in Pilo and Blawa. Yes. The action that we are going to call for, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, it encompasses the entire nation. It encompasses you, it encompasses me. It encompasses the vendors, the civil servants, the business, the rural people. Nobody is safe from these things. Nobody will be spared by these things. It was just last week. Kombi ngaita $2 yaita $7. Zvigayo zvina diesel vasikwanisa kugaisa kuti vawane uvhu kumba. Vakutoda kutswana nematombo zvataita kudhara. So the rural people have got to wake up and join the other people in this thing. Civil servants, munangagwa na mtuli wada kudzinga ma civil servants. Vakaramba vakagara ipapo kuti ndezvedu tisina mabasa. Ndezvekwavo. But they are coming for you and they are coming hard. They are planning to wipe out half of the civil servants. Kuti vanonzi vaende kupi? Hatizive. But this is a wake-up call to civil servants. This action is for every Zimbabwean. Every Zimbabwean. Even in ZANU-PF, I speak to some people in ZANU-PF. They are very angry. They were not consulted by Mtuli Ngube. Full stop. So they are equally affected as we are. So we are calling on every Zimbabwean to listen and to think and to join this perfectly legal and lawful and legitimate struggle of the people. Nyaya monetary policy, we have got to reject that monetary policy with all means necessary and even unnecessary. We have got to reject the monetary policy. We are tired of people stealing from us. $2. Ukatenga skati izvozvo one skati unoizwa chudhuwa kuchajwa 2 cents. Ikuenda kuna mnangagwa na Mtuli Ngube. Vari kuidi mari. Vakapana zvikwereti kwa rabhizetu. Pana pachirina anonzani na gono ya. And they created that Debt Assumption Act kuti mari yavakakwereta younzwa kuma citizens tobhadhara isusu as tax. Vanhu vakakwereta zvinhu parabhizeti, list ririko kwarabhizeti. Let those people pay their debts. Yes. The list is there. Yes. Vanatemba Mlisho, we know they've got all the farm equipment here, farms vakachengeta, zvimwe zvacho vakaviga. Farmers chava story na zvinhu zvacho. Those ZANU-PF henchmen have got those things. But now they are transferring that debt to us, the citizens. Kuti mimi chibhadharai. Zvinhu zvavakatora zvine list kuti ningi Mnangagwa akatora matractor akati, mahara akati, zvakati. Ningi akatora zvakati, gono akatora zvakati, ningi akatora zvakati. ZANU-PF people yawa. Paponzi isisu, the ordinary citizens. We are not going to accept that. Yes. Not now, not ever. Yes. If it was accepted in the past, it will never be accepted again from us. These are my basic commodities. Basic commodities. Scad, 1 per custom. Scad. Castle light, 1 per custom. Mvura, muna chingwa, 1 per custom. Chingwa chacho chakwira. Chingwa $50. Asi unoona pa Facebook, unoona munhu anobudisa picture akazadza shuka. Akahodha shuka. Akahodhera vanhu veZANU-PF. In conclusion, we are calling unequivocally and without a shadow of doubt for a total and final national shutdown. Yes. 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 If you decide you want to come to work, when we've said don't come to work, come to work. Yes. This is a notice to all citizens. Could this weekend, if you are going to be piling your food, if you are going whatever you will need to use, we are entering a season of service and sacrifice as the people of Zimbabwe. We are saying enough is enough. Together. Yes. Together. We are going to confront this regime. We are going to confront this regime. And there is no amount of ammunition which can kill all our people. Never ever. So we are going to collectively as citizens confront this regime. zvanaposa ananani nanani hazvisi pamutemo. Ndakaona hangu madzikoma angu ana mukoma Peter Mutaza no apply. So we don't apply to laws which are unconstitutional. Parliament program of Parliament is the realignment of laws. And one of the laws that is totally unconstitutional is POS. But this is testimony that you know under POS. So it's this we are saying.